since October 7th, we've seen a huge rise in anti-Semitism around the world. And I'm wondering if you have insight into what that's doing for Jewish people feeling unsafe or bringing up past trauma or creating new trauma. I've read again that students on college campuses are feeling traumatized from some of the ways they've been treated.
So that's where we get into the definition of trauma. There's, you know, in the public for certain reasons, the word trauma means something different than it does clinically to us, to professionals who work in the field. In the public domain, people will use the word trauma for being nervous or scared or upset or having even tension and stress for a few weeks. But that's not technically trauma clinically. And so we do want to separate that. You know, Jewish students and just Jews around the world, almost everybody is stressed, depressed, forlorn. I don't know anybody who I've spoken to, and I've spoken to probably over 100 people, that is not impacted in some way.
Higher levels of stress. And what else comes along with that?
Well, some people may have nightmares. They may have sleep problems. They, again, may be vigilant. They may get depressed. Those are all expected reactions given the severity of what's happened.
Right. Okay.
And even what's happening in the diaspora. It's a different kind of situation because in the diaspora, there's not the same protection. So even though the actual event may not be nearly as serious, like if a student gets beat up or witnesses being beat up or has to be barricaded in the library because of a scary mob outside, that's not the same, obviously, as the brutality of the massacre on October 7th. But there is a sense in Israel that there's a unification of people protecting you. I mean, you may have read that many of the Bedouins in the South, and the Arab Muslims, Christians, they all banded together. Some of them even lost their lives trying to help some of the people in the kibbutzim or at the Nova Music Festival. So there's a real unification there. They're not feeling danger from within very much. So whereas the Jews, you know, in the diaspora, it's the opposite. The event isn't as intense, but there's not a sense of security that the government or the police or even their neighbor is going to support them.
Very interesting.